no one knows the wicked. You know, I was actually going to. I was in town just today, and I was at HMV, and I heard the film's adaptation's rendition of "Popular." You're gonna be popular. I mean, Ariana Grande, she does a good job, but the Idina Menzel and whoever it was that was playing Glinda in the original show, it's a hard act to follow. Anyway, are we live? Yes, we are live. All right, this is going to be quite the interesting topic. I really should get things organized. I mean, I was originally gonna have this be like a full, angry, passionate rant, but then at the same time, I thought to myself, well, having actually looked at the article, the article itself, causing the controversy, says, although occurring in a fantastical setting, so at least it acknowledges that. But still, I mean, I can understand why people could get sensitive to this sort of thing, but at the same time, green skin? I mean, really? Basically, alright. So ideally, the controversy has been going around just in the last 24 hours, so I thought I'd talk about it whilst I have the time to do so. So, starting off here. So, BBFC is British film rating organization, and it's their job to basically rate films like U, PG. In fact, here's the education for you guys. So, U rating would be suitable for all. So, a U rating would be for the likes of most of the Disney movies, or like Horton Hears a Who, or those kind of movies that are safe, that kind of thing. PG, that would be for films like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Secret of Nim, the Kung Fu Panda series. Let's see, other PG rated films. What are the good examples of PG rated movies? Those are ones I can think of to the top of my head. 12A, suitable 12 years old. 12A as in must be accompanied by an adult. That would be the fourth Indiana Jones movie. Is the one that comes to mind for me. 12, basically all the Marvel movies, as well as the Dark Knight, films that are a bit more on the violent side of things. 15, you got the Blues Brothers, the Deadpool movies, and then 18, you got the horror movies. Alright. Like the Silence of the Lambs and the Alien series, so on and so forth. What is this? R18. Adult works for licensed premises only. I've never heard of that one, honestly. Anyway, so this one is rating. So I suppose to address the controversy, let's read through this article one bit at a time. But first, I don't think is there somebody else watching? I always feel like somebody's watching me. Anyway. Alright. I'll be right with you guys. Alright, I think that's probably enough. Alright, so let's read through the article and then address the controversy. Controversy. There's no place like the cinema. This adaptation of the hit stage musical is sure to be popular with young audiences, so check out our guide below to find out all you need to know. So, a lot of people say this film should be rated U, as in suitable for all, but this movie is rated PG. Why? Well, we're about to find out. We rated Wicked PG for mild threat and discrimination. This means the film is suitable for general viewing, but parents and caregivers should be aware that some scenes may be unsuitable for more sensitive children. Or more sensitive man-children. But anyway. Below is our content advice on the film. You can also check out our handy visual guide for the age rating and its content themes here. Right. I think I already saw that website. Yes, I did. Okay, so here's where the controversy comes in, you guys. Apparently, BBFC is giving us a heads up on the themes of discrimination because, you see, a green-skinned woman is mocked, bullied, and humiliated because of her skin color. And basically, the controversy is happening because maybe BBFC meant it something else, but the way they phrased this particular line of thinking, it comes across as, oh, we can't offend green-skinned people. What green-skinned people? What green-skinned people are you so terrified of offending? Like Shrek? Are you terrified of scaring green-skinned people in the UK? Are you scared of Shrek because he's from Scotland, which is in the UK? Is that it? Are you scared of offending Larry the Cucumber's distant cousin or something? Are you scared of offending the Loch Ness Monster? Who are you afraid of offending? What green-skinned people? So, basically, that's the controversy in a nutshell, but you know what? Let's continue onwards. Alright, just keep that in mind. The film itself releases today alongside Moana 2, honestly enough. There's been this trend called Glicked, trying to cash in on Barbenheimer. So they're trying to do the same thing with Glicked, cashing into Wicked and Gladiator 2, but that's not going to work because Wicked is already a success and Gladiator 2 is already a big failure. So honestly, given the fact that today is also the release date for Moana 2, the trend should have been Micked or Woana or something. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's carry on with what this says right here. Content advice may contain spoilers. Guards are struck as they... I've seen this show, I know how it goes. Guards are struck as they... Okay. Occasional threatening scenes, including fantastical creatures, and even guards chasing after two women. People narrowly escape an explosion. Wow, they must have got Michael Bay in there. Monkeys appear in pain and distress as they grow wings, and there are brief scary moments. Well, I do remember there was quite the jump scare as the show started. I remember that. People flirt with each other, imply that someone gets pregnant. A green-skinned woman is... Alright, here's the thing that's causing the controversy. A man is briefly seen with a small scratch on his face. Tis but a scratch! A scratch! A green-skinned woman is mocked, bullied, and humiliated because of her skin color. Disabled woman in a wheelchair is treated in a condescending manner by able-bodied people. Talking animals are persecuted in a fantastical society. I mean, on the one hand, yeah, I understand that it's good to, point out any, themes and stuff like that, and giving people a heads up on how the film is portraying things. But at the same time, I don't think the way BBFC described it has translated very well with other people. A more sensible way of describing it would have been the themes of discrimination include a woman of green skin being mocked, bullied, and humiliated. It should have said that. I mean, I can understand that discrimination can be a common thing for people all over the world, honestly. But it's just the way they phrased it. It's a green-skinned woman is mocked, bullied, humiliated. And the way they phrased it, it's as if they are scared of offending green-skinned ladies. Oh dear, oh dear. So there was a specific phrase that these articles brought up. So these articles are pointing out the questionability of the way that BBFC described it. Also, I think this whole controversy could have been avoided if BBFC just described it as, oh, well, there are themes in this film that have discriminatory undertones in it. But obviously this won't apply to real life. That would have made more sense. But the fact that they said it exactly like this... like, really? There's something at the end of this document that these other articles mention, so let's read it out. At PG, our guidelines state that discriminatory language or behavior should be clearly disapproved of. Well, clearly. Some language or behavior may be permitted if justified by context, for example, reclaimed historical lack of discriminatory intent. Throughout the film, all forms of discrimination are condemned and a message of acceptance and understanding and equality is clearly promoted. Okay, this is the part that the websites were mentioning. Although occurring in a fantastical setting, seeing beloved characters being mistreated, especially when alphabet skin color is used to demonize Earth the Wicked Witch, may be upsetting and poignant to some audiences. Now, where was the bit that mentioned the poignancy? Where was that? Yes, here we go. Now, these articles certainly do point out the questionability of trying not to offend green-skinned people when planet Earth doesn't have much green-skinned people. Although, in all fairness to BBFC, they do say, although occurring in a fantastical setting first, and funnily enough, I don't remember seeing these websites give mention to that, so there might be a bit of bias on these other articles, if you ask me. No, not one mention of although occurring in a fantastical setting. Let's see. From the point, we're just gonna try it out. Just aha. Okay, right. Okay, let's try this one. Although occurring in a fantastical setting. Okay, does this one... Okay, that one gives mention to that bit, and then... Oh, no. Right, okay, so... In all fairness to BBFC, they do mention beforehand, although occurring in a fantastical setting, so... There may be a bit of unfair bias from The Guardian and GBN and some other people calling out the controversy, but still... Won't anyone think of the bright-skinned people? Won't someone think of the green-skinned people? Exactly, Christian RPG gamers. Won't someone think of the children? Someone think about Shrek. Think about Shrek's children. Think of the ogre children. Christian RPG gamers. I did point out that, I mean, I do read The Guardian and the GBN news from time to time. You know, I value what they have to contribution. I've seen Neil Oliver, Scottish historian, collaborate with GBN News, and I have a lot of respect for Neil Oliver. So there's a lot of integrity with that man. Although... I've noticed there may be a wee bit of bias with these writers because I noticed while they do mention this part, you know, because of how seemingly absurd it is, I noticed when I tried looking up the bit where it mentions this bit, although occurring in a fantastical setting, none of these articles actually mention that particular line, so there may be a wee bit of bias there. Because at least the article does say, although occurring in a fantastical setting, but still, the fact that they described it like this It would have made much more sense if they said there are themes of discrimination represented by a green-skinned woman going through humiliation and stuff like that. That would make more sense. But the fact that they go out of their way to just say, oh, a green-skinned woman is mocked. For Pete's sakes. Like, what green-skinned people are you afraid to offend? Now, there's gonna be people who are out there say, oh, but Elphaba is portrayed by Cynthia Erivo, so it's gonna be an allegory for racism. Yeah, but in the original play, Elphaba was portrayed by Idina Menzel, a Caucasian woman, so that allegorical idea doesn't really hold much water, for lack of a better term. Elphaba could be portrayed by anyone. Any woman, basically. As long as they can sing well. Like, there have been a variety of actresses portraying Elphaba throughout the years, and Cynthia Erivo is the latest of them. And from what I can tell, Cynthia Erivo's a good singer, and from what I've heard, portrays the character well, even if she does have a few blank stares for that one fan-made poster. Although, I did get a good laugh from this one article from Stuart Heritage, so let's read it. Why not? As BBFC's wicked warning leaves usual suspects green with anger, it's a polite notice on a website really worth frothing about. Wicked has faced more than its fair share of controversies since it was first announced. From the uproar over recasting the play's leads to fan-made posters going viral for the wrong reasons, to the debate over people singing along to it in cinemas and ruining it for everyone. Oh, come on, there should be some fun in that, right? As such, Wicked does not wish to cause any more upset, which is why it has gone out of its way to cut any new controversy off at the pass. Exhibit A. The BBFC has slapped a warning on the film, alerting viewers that it features scenes of discrimination against those with green skin. The BBFC website states that seeing beloved characters being mistreated, especially when Elphaba's skin color is used to demonize her as the Wicked Witch, may be upsetting and poignant for some audiences. This is an important warning. Perhaps you yourself happen to be a green-skinned witch who has been wrongly demonized by the population of a magical land, and seeing this scene without advance would have given you PTSD. Or perhaps you have a rare genetic disorder, hyperbilirubinemia, that's a new word for me, which turns your skin and urine green, and you wanted to go see Wicked purely as an act of solidarity with what you assume to be a fellow sufferer. It would be extremely upsetting in this instant to then see some people be mean to her. Or maybe you're a frog, I don't know. Either way, it's a good thing that the BBFC has taken this important step in protecting green people. Yeah, you wouldn't want to offend, like, King Howard from Shrek 2. Shrek the Third. You wouldn't want to upset Kermit.
Sir, I have a few complaints against this film. They're showing a very blatant discrimination against green people. It's not easy being green, so this film's not making it any easier.
Obviously, this hasn't gone down well in all quarters, since the BBFC justification effectively amounts to a trigger warning. The move has been a red flag to the sort of public spokespeople who like to splutter and guff about everything being too woke these days. It just makes me so happy that more and more people are becoming alert of the hypocrisy of the woke crowd. It makes me so happy. Talking to the Daily Mail, sociology professor Frank Ferretti, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name, sneered. Green-skinned people under attack? You cannot make it up. It is evident that the authors of this silly classification are living on planet bonkers. He has a point. Nothing makes me angrier than seeing organizations like the BBFC pander to people with green skin. For too long, these green-skinned arseholes have been getting away with coming over here, taking our non-witch jobs, and having sex with our non-witch wives. This article's great. There's nothing that we right-minded, non-green citizens want more than a film with loads of people being arbitrarily horrible to someone with green skin. We could really do without those snowflakes at the BBFC coddling us by assuming that we might find it upsetting. Quite frankly, more films should contain targeted abuse of green-skinned people. There should be a scene in Gladiator 2 where a Roman pushes a green-skinned witch under a charging rhinoceros. Or a bit in Paddington in Peru where Paddington Bear gestures at some green-skinned people in the background and mutters the words twats at them. Or maybe like Paddington like gives the stare at them when they've forgotten their manners. That's probably the best that Paddington would do. The crazy thing is that the BBFC doesn't even stop there, going on to provide us with a trigger warning about a scene where a talking goat is vilified. I mean, to be fair, there will be people out there who care about the animals, so, that could be distressing for them. I don't understand that, but come on. People just need to... life's hard, okay? Deal with it. Now, we can't even enjoy scenes of cruelty to talking animals. What is the world coming to? Oh sure, there'll be some who will claim that this sort of thing is literally the BBFC's job, one it performs for most major releases, and all the post was doing was highlighting the sort of complex discussions about content and subtext that go into awarding a film with a classification. True. Indeed, some people might even argue that Elphaba's skin color is an allegory for any form of racism. True. In fact, an allegory that, if anything else, is a little too heavy-handed, and that the organization had a moral duty to explain that these depictions of racist abuse what landed Wicked with a PG certification rather than a U. But that would be a political correctness gone mad, wouldn't it? We shouldn't have to put up with trigger warnings, even on films that have been heavily marketed for children despite being based on revisionist novels that contain several scenes set in BDSM clubs. Children need to learn that racism and animal abuse happens every day. That is sad. But, like I said, life's hard, but, we gotta face those racists. We gotta face those animal abusers. They should be subjected to depictions of this without warning. There's a thought. This article was clearly written from the generation of people who grew up watching Watership Down. Especially if they're 5 years old. Get your kids to watch Don Bluth movies, especially The Secret of Nim. That'll toughen them up. Especially if they're 5 years old, just want to watch a nice fairy tale movie with lots of lovely songs in it. In short, you cannot traumatize a child enough, and that's why it's clear that the real villain of the story is a polite little notice that someone put up on a website. How dare they? I'm getting some Greta Thunberg vibes from this. This article pretty much says a lot of the same things, although now, I've yet to see the film, but from what I've heard, despite the controversies, the film actually works quite well, from what I've heard. But there is something else that's rather concerning. Director John M. Chu explained his new vision for Munchkinland during the film's promotional tour. We wanted Bok to come from a culture, and so we were trying to reinvent what a munchkin is. In our eyes, Munchkin was not a size. Still can't believe the Wicked movie gentrified Munchkinland. What's so offensive about the Munchkins? Writer Simon Evans told the Mail, trigger warnings are ridiculous and counterproductive at the best of times, dampening excitement, thank you, destroying creative dramatic tension and creating a muffled atmosphere appropriate to an HR seminar than a movie. This is the thing, when you try to appeal to everybody, you appeal to nobody. Like, what is this, 1984? We're not allowed to express any creativity anymore? Like, what's wrong with representing small people? I mean, think of it this way. You're trying to avoid offending small people. But what if you were unintentionally avoiding representing small people entirely? Think about that. Green-skinned people under attack. You cannot make it up. It is evident that the author of this silly classification is living on planet bonkers. Right, yep. Here's something interesting. The increase was primarily driven by young people protesting age restrictions, with the 15 rating given to horror film Five Nights at Freddy's generating the most controversy. This represents the highest figure when 149 complaints were recorded. Well, I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's is still a horror film, even if it has kiddish appeal. The only problem with the controversy is it takes away the enjoyment of what the movie was supposed to be. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's interesting to hear that the film has succeeded and is receiving good attention. In fact, let's see, Wicked movie. Just give me a moment. It's on IMDb. It's rated 8.2 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, but who cares about what Rotten Tomatoes says? 90%, but basically, it's going well with audiences as well as critics. So yeah, the film is genuinely succeeding despite all the controversies, despite Cynthia Erivo's needlessly hysterical reactions to that one fan-made poster, despite people having to warm up to the fact that it's not Idina Menzel and her co-star portraying the lead characters. Despite all that, the film still succeeded. I mean, that is quite an achievement, I will say. I've heard that Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are talented actresses and singers, so I mean, maybe Idina Menzel and the other actors were not available, and I guess they were the next best thing. I mean, who knows? But yeah, I mean, these controversies do hurt the marketing. I mean, they did do well with marketing in regards to showing practical effects and the whole spectacle and how much love and passion they went into trying to make the story. At the same time, though, controversies really do dampen the marketing experience, and it's very clear that the folks at BBFC and Hollywood, well, not everyone, but most of them are living in a bubble. They need to face reality. Like, they need to... They don't seem like they've actually faced a day's hardship. Like, they haven't gone off to work and cleaned stuff up in spite of bleeding hands. They haven't used their arm muscles to eve stuff up or been patient enough to go through lists of stuff like that. I mean, maybe there is some other things like that I'm overlooking in regards to that. I mean, I suppose perhaps there is paperwork and other things like that people like them have to do, and prices like that, so on and so forth. But still, you get the idea. For the most part, the most of these people are like courts of the king's jesters in the king's court. Unless you have legit experience outside of being a jester in a king's court, you have no authority to speak on any kind of issue, as Ricky Gervais says in the award show. Most of you have spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. Right. So that pretty much wraps up everything I wanted to say. I was going to go on a passionate rant, but at the same time, after reading the actual article itself, I'm giving the BBFC some room for fairness, because it does say, although occurring in a fantastical setting, and these news articles don't mention that part for some reason, so it's a wee bit suspicious. See, this is why you need to be balanced. This is why you need to see the truth of what it is. But even still, like, come on, really, really, it's really, like, what green-skinned people are you afraid of offending? And what's wrong with a munchkin? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think there may have been some rumors that the munchkin extras may not have been treated that well in the Wizard of Oz filming, but I could be mistaken on that. I'll need to correct me if I'm wrong. But the munchkins were never depicted as anything negative. They were cute. They were fun. Like, what's wrong with a munchkin?
Judge me by my size, do you? Judge munchkins by your size, do you? I am green. I am not offended. I am not. Bunch of baloney, BBFC says. What do you make of this, Kermit?
I suppose, now that you mention all that, it seems to be getting a bit carried away. I know it's not easy being green, but, due to this unnecessary controversy, you're making being green that needlessly more difficult. You need more authentic representation of being green.
Come, let us reason together, as the Bible says. So, thank you all so much for watching. Feel free to share this around. And if there's anything else you'd like to say, speak now or forever hold on to your peas. I like peas. Peas. It goes together like peas and sweet corn. I heard that Tom Hanks was critiquing the Marvel Cinematic Universe lately. I'll probably look into that, but I just had to talk about it. Well, this is a very recent controversy. As of recording this controversy happened just within the last 24 hours. And the film of Wicked releases in the UK today, alongside Moana 2. And I've heard that Moana 2 is suffering from sequel-itis. Yeah, apart from the success of Inside Out 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine, Disney seriously needs new management. Oh! Moana 2 is great? Alright, nice. In which case, from what I'm hearing, Moana 2 is receiving a lot of mixed reception. Some people, like yourself, are saying it's great. Other people are saying it's not. I guess I'll have to go see the film myself to find out for certain. In the meantime, feel free to share this around with your friends and family. And me. Spread the love for the channel. We're getting more people on board with the channel. I'm glad to see that recent efforts of mine are working well. And also, as of recording this, why did more people vote for Sonic Generations rather than Shadow Generations on one of my polls? Shadow Generations is the better game. We got 57 votes for that best movie scene of 2024. And, but yeah, there's that one game I posted about, Games Tales HQ. It'll show you the potential of video games as a narrative art form. Anyway, anything else here? No, okay. Thank you so much for watching. Go be with you all. Scott Sticker signing out. What's up with things?